Hails and horns, everybody, and welcome back to the Abyss. I'm Azag. This is episode 2 of Tales from the Underground, and today we have an album review for you, and that is the new release from the Black Sorcery entitled Wolven Degarde. So stick around and let's check this thing out. Alright, so as you can see here, we got the artwork on the screen for you, and I'll kind of zoom in here in a second before we move on. But just some quick thoughts right off the bat. As you can see, it's a very dark, torturous, intense artwork, and that really sets up the vibe of the album, because that's exactly your experience when you listen to this thing, man. It just pummels you, it tortures you, and I do mean that in the best way possible. The artwork itself, man, that wolf is really cool, and I think I saw a post, I think a while back, that this partially got banned on Amazon just because the artwork being so vulgar, but I think it's amazing. It looks like a Archgoat meets Black Witchery with a little bit of like the Satanic Warmaster Archgoat split, that kind of artwork just all mashed into one, man, and it just looks brutal as shit. And I love the logo. I love the font that they used for the album title and everything. The colors are perfect. I don't think I've ever given a 5 on artwork out of 5, but there you go. 5 pentagrams out of 5 on the artwork. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in and shut up for a second so you can check this out for yourself, and then we'll move on to the drums. Alright, so we kind of looked at the artwork. Let's talk about the drums a little bit. In my opinion, I thought the drums were very well executed. The timing, the punchiness of them, everything was right on point. Very well in the pocket, as you would say, I guess. Snare tone, very good. It wasn't too tinny. It wasn't like pots and pans. Had a pretty good, solid, mean tone to it. The kick drums were very deep, very punishing, very very percussive. I mean, you could almost feel it when you crank this thing up on the vinyl player back there. But very good blast beats, but that wasn't the whole thing. There were some very good like fills. There were some good kind of off-tempo beats, things like that. It showed a lot of, I'm going to say, creativity and talent, very well executed. It wasn't just blasturbation all the way through. The tempos did change a lot and just really added to the atmosphere. I think overall I would rate the drum performance on this 3.5. Oh, I'm going to give it a 4. I'm going to give the drums a 4. Very, very solid. And again, my 1 to 5 scale, 1 being absolute shit, 5 being absolute perfection, and 3 being average to above average. So being 3.5 to 4 is a pretty damn good rating, but there, we'll make it official. 4 on the drums. Fucking sick shit, but let's move on to the guitars and the bass. Alright, so for the guitars and the bass, I'm going to kind of wrap them all up into one massive, explanation of tone. What you get here is, a really solid mixture of styles between, traditional black metal and death metal and like brutal death type of tones. Very, very war metal in tone. Think Revenge and Abysmal Lord's tones kind of crunched together in just one brutal sound. It's not too tinny and buzzsawy. It's got a lot of depth to it. Killer distortion, and there was some really good riffing going on in this album. I'll be really honest that I was kind of surprised. I kind of expected vocally this thing to take over, but the guitars was very well done in my opinion. Really good tone. It didn't sound like 100 other bands. It was very intense, very in your face. Like I said, very fast, heavy shit, and mixed with the drums and the vocals, it was a damn near perfect match of where everything fell in the mix. Everything was kind of right flat in the middle. Nothing was way out too far in the front or the back. And like I said, very well done all around. And I think that was a really good explanation. If you like bands, that raw, gritty death metal like Abysmal Lord, and that fast, aggressive, like almost war metal, like sound of like Revenge and bands like that, kind of smash them together into this, extreme metal hybrid. That's pretty much what you're in store for this whole record. But the guitars, again, extremely well done. Very jealous of the tone. I love the guitar tone, to be honest with you. The distortion was perfect. The EQ was done really well. But again, I'm going to give the guitars probably a 4 out of 5. Boom, there, it's official. So far, this is probably my highest rated album I've done in a review so far. And let's go talk about the vocals. Alright, so with Lord Metzigadis, I believe I said that right, I apologize if I didn't. Lord Metzigadis on vocals. I had a very good, high expectation for the vocals because of other projects I've heard him in, like, The Projectionist. I just showed a CD of theirs a couple updates ago, and if you remember, the Visits from the Night Hag was in my top albums of the year list from last year. a lot of solid vocals from him in the past, so I had very high expectations, knowing that this was going to be more of a brutal record with like a Black and Death war metal, brutality to it, and definitely not disappointed. Layers of vocals from just super deep, like brutal death, guttural, just insanity, just laced all the way through with like a very raspy, vile black metal type of vocal underneath of it at times, kind of giving an atmospheric, layering to the vocals. It's honestly kind of blew me away. So for fans of black metal, you've got that grit kind of underneath, and you more brutal death fans can really get behind the main vocal throughout the record. Like I said, just a really deep guttural, brutal death style vocals over top of that black metal rasp, and really worked well together in my opinion. Once again, Lord Metzigitis just proved that vocally he is very, very solid. Highly underrated in my opinion, and definitely deserves a lot more attention. And I'm hoping that the buzz from this record definitely helps, the Black Sorcery, the Projectionist, and his other projects really take off. But again, just absolutely floored by the vocals. I'm giving those a 4.5 out of 5. To be honest, I found them to just be just that right amount of holy shit in your face, and just not over the top, but still really fucking brutal. Pardon me, and just well placed, in the mix. They were a little more out in front from the, the rest of the band, but I think it needed to be there to really get that vocal punch, and definitely not disappointed. Please check this band out if you have not. We're going to do some final thoughts and an overall rating here in a second, and then I'm going to leave you with a clip from the band, so definitely stay tuned till the end and, see what this band's all about. But again, 4.5 for the vocals. Let's go ahead and talk about this album as a whole. All right, so what are my overall thoughts and rating for this album? Again, Black Sorcery, Wolven Degarde. There's not a whole lot more I can say about it that I haven't already mentioned. This is a great extreme metal record, man. Perfect mixture, like I said earlier, black metal with like brutal death. Definitely steps up the term Black and Death or war metal. But it couldn't have come out at a better time when I felt that the term war metal or Black and Death was starting to get a little overused, overrated, stale, boring, same old shit. Here comes Wolven Degrade and just completely blows everything else out of the water. 2019 still got a long way to go, but as it stands right now, this is going to be hard to beat for my album of the year. I know there's a lot of good stuff on the way, but that's my honest opinion. 4.5 out of 5 pentagrams for this album. I don't think I've ever gone over that, so definitely speaks to how much I'm enjoying this. It's been living in my vinyl player over there behind me, and it's definitely going right back in there as soon as this video is over. Again, huge shout out to the band. Excellent work. Please stick around here in a minute. I'm going to play a small clip of one of the tracks from the album. You heard a little snippet earlier, but definitely want to give you a little bit more of a taste, and please go check them out at their Bandcamp. Go to Appalachian Noise, see if they still have the vinyls. Amazing record. Please stick around, check it out. I appreciate everybody for watching this far. Reviews really aren't my thing. They're kind of awkward for me, but I definitely wanted to make sure that this album got a little more attention. I think it definitely deserves it. And so, stick around and check out the clip and see if you can get behind Wolven Degrade from the Black Sorcery as I do. And hails and horns, and we'll see you soon.